The one thing that makes tattoos different is that they're elective. You choose to put them on you because they are something you want to express about yourself.
In mid-2016, federal and local law enforcement were on the lookout for gang members in a few U.S. cities.
He has a large tattoo on his head, scars on his back, tats on his both legs and his neck.
If you comb through videos like these released to the public by the feds, you'll notice how interested cops are in tattoos.
What you got on your chest, man?
Because gang members often get tattoos, it's nothing out of the norm for a gang arrest. Officers make a record of the tattoos just as they do for fingerprints.
Law enforcement has huge sets of tattoos. They've long had binders that people flip through to look for gang tattoos and other kinds of things. But now, like a lot of different processes, they want to automate it.
That's Dave Moss, an investigative researcher at the Electronic Frontier Foundation. By automation, he means capturing images of tattoos and compiling them in a computerized database to see if the information can be used in crime fighting.
So there's a lot of different kinds of biometrics that law enforcement's interested in. They're interested in fingerprints. They're interested in faces. Maybe the ways you walk. They might be interested in your irises or, your DNA. The one thing that makes tattoos different is that they're elective. You choose to put them on you because they are something you want to express about yourself.
That could include everything from your everyday lower back tattoo to a basic barbed wire around your arm, but also deeply personal political, cultural, and religious symbols. Anybody out there have a Don't Tread on Me flag tattoo or perhaps a Juggalo hatchet man? Yeah, looking at you, you lovable weirdos.
Whoop, whoop.
And that's why Moss says that the automation of tattoo recognition may seem effective when going after criminal street gangs, but it also ushers in a new world where innocent people without gang affiliation may be unnecessarily under the magnifying glass of law enforcement. Those people who have the power to charge you with a crime.
So for example, the six-pointed star. That's something that you usually associate with Judaism. However, that is also the symbol of a gang in Chicago. So if they're entering the six-pointed star into a gang database saying that people who have this are more likely to be members of the Chicago gang than people who are expressing pride in Judaism and get a six-pointed star may find themselves marked that way.
And beyond that, some gang members leave gangs and move on with their lives. So later on, they may be the targets of harassment by the cops over the meaningless ink on their skin. But aren't tattoos a public statement to the world? Something that says who we are without actually having to say it?
You're walking down the street, you put your tattoo on your arm, it's a publicly available thing. You lose your right to privacy when you walk around in public.
I mean, I wouldn't, to an extent, yes, you're out in public, you are showing things off, but a lot of the tattoos we saw are tattoos under people's shirts, on people's chests, on people's private areas.
Moss is talking about images used in research by the National Institute of Standards and Technology, or NIST, a government institution who partners with the FBI on biometrics.
Please look at the blue light.
Easily and accurately ascertaining the identity of individuals is what biometric systems are all about.
And the FBI worked with NIST to compile a large database of some 15,000 plus images of tattoos to start testing how various algorithms can match tattoos.
But if you look closely at the research, you can see how law enforcement could easily identify certain groups of people.
And they're definitely looking for religious or what they say is like ritualistic tattoos.
Right, so this is interesting because this is something that they've now redacted or retroactively removed from a lot of their material. With the series of studies that they started off with, they had a few goals. One of the goals was to match people who have similar tattoos. In practice, the idea would be, okay, so this is what a certain gang's tattoo looks like. Can we match all of the gang members who have the similar tattoo? And then we have this good network of gang members. But that's not what they were using in the actual research. In the research, they were frequently using images like the cross, Jesus on the crucifix, hands praying with a rosary. I mean, those were images they used time and time again. And in practice with this research, once you put one cross up there, you're pulling up everybody else who has a cross and, ultimately creating a list of people who have tattoos of a certain religion.
NIST denied this to us in an email, saying their research was not about discerning meaning from tattoos or categorizing people based on tattoos, and all that they were trying to do was help ensure the technology was evaluated using sound science that improved accuracy. But regardless of the intent, the ability to match or find similarity in tattoos is the point of the research. And even though NIST is saying they aren't discerning meaning here, the cops could definitely discern meaning. After all, the FBI has a well-publicized history of profiling people with their religion in mind.
659. I checked all those complexes up north where we thought.
To really understand the concerns automated tattoo recognition would mean for people, you have to imagine the big data world policing is moving towards. Most of that is hard to see for sure, but whether it's drones with cameras, license plate readers that can location track, or closed-circuit cameras that can recognize your face, law enforcement wants to know as much as they can about citizens, and tattoos are a part of that.
I do see that there is a public safety interest on law enforcement to track gang members. But the question is, at what point are we actually talking about a gang, or we're just talking about a club of people, or people who have a First Amendment right to associate? You know, if you can identify that there is a criminal enterprise involved, all right, I can see that. But when you're capturing tattoos of every single person walking in the door, or you're starting to apply tattoo recognition to CCTV, or if you're scraping tattoos off of Facebook, and using that to identify people just in general, I mean, that's worrisome. That's how we worry about with facial recognition, that it's not just about tracking criminals, but tracking everyone. Tattoos could function in the same way.